Have you ever been asked to conduct an evaluation, but realized there was little or no budget to actually do it? You are expected to measure results and show impact, but there is no dedicated staff, no consultant to support you, just a responsibility to make it happen. Well, if that sounds familiar, this video is for you. Today, I will be sharing 4 practical and actionable strategies that non-for-profit, small organizations, students, and even evaluation professionals can use to carry out meaningful evaluations, even with limited or zero financial resources. Hello, everyone, and welcome to this new episode of the Monitoring and Evaluation Circle. My name is Jean François, and it's always a pleasure to connect with you, share practical insights to help strengthen your monitoring and evaluation practice. If you haven't done it yet, I invite you right now to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss future episodes filled with practical tools and strategies to support your evaluation journey. When there is little or no budget for evaluation, many organizations feel stuck. Some decide not to evaluate at all. Others try to measure everything and quickly become overwhelmed. But evaluation doesn't have to be complicated. If your resources are limited, the key is to simplify and focus on what truly matters. So the first practical step is to start with 2, at most 3 evaluation questions. Not 10, not 15, just 2 or 3. Well, you have to ask yourself, what are the most important things we need to understand about this project? For example, did our program reach the people we intended to reach? Did participants experience meaningful change? What should we improve next time? That's it. When you reduce your evaluation to 2 or 3 questions, everything becomes easier. You collect less data, you spend less time analyzing, and your reporting becomes clear. Remember, focus questions create focused evaluation. The second step is to focus on fewer, better indicators. When resources are tight, trying to track too many indicators will drain your time and energy. Instead, choose 1 or 2 strong indicators for each evaluation question. For example, if you want to know whether participants benefit from the training, you might, for example, track the number of participants who completed the training, or the percentage of participants who increase confidence or acquire new skills afterward. That's enough. You don't need 15 indicators to prove impact. What matters is that your indicators actually help you understand progress. Measuring less, but measuring well, is far more powerful than collecting a large amount of weak data. The third step is to use the data you already have. Well, many organizations assume they need new data to conduct an evaluation, but in reality, they are often already collecting valuable information. Instead of starting from scratch, take time to identify the data you already gathered and think about how it can support your evaluation. For example, you may already have useful data in your registration form, pre and post surveys, meeting notes, feedback emails, testimonials, or even social media engagement. Well, all of these data can provide meaningful insights if used intentionally. In case you do need to collect new data through surveys or interviews, keep it simple. Your questions should be clear, direct, and focus. You do not need 15 or 20 questions in a survey or a guide. Ask only what is necessary to measure your indicators. You can also strengthen your evaluation by documenting 1 or 2 short success stories from program participants. Remember, the effectiveness of a data collection is not determined by the number of questions, but by how well the information collected helps you measure what truly matters. The fourth and final step is to make your report meaningful, not long. A strong evaluation report doesn't need to be 100 pages. In fact, long reports often go unread. The purpose of evaluation is not to impress people with volume. It's to inform decisions. Your report can be 5 to 10 pages, a short slide deck, or even a concise summary. Focus on your evaluation questions, what you found, what it means, and what should happen next. Remove anything that does not serve that purpose. Clear and useful is always better than long and complicated. If you remember 4 things from this episode, remember this. Start with 2 or 3 evaluation questions. Focus on fewer strong indicators. Use the data you already have and keep your reporting simple and meaningful. Even with limited resources, you can build an evaluation practice that supports learning, strengthens decision-making, and demonstrates impact. Until next time, keep learning, keep questioning, and keep building meaningful evaluation practices. My name is Jean François, and welcome to the Circle